Good morning, Doug. Thank you so much for getting this podcast set up on very short notice. I know you wanted to get this message out very quickly due to the current situation with COVID-19 and the way it's affecting the economy. So what do we need to know?
Thank you, Eric, and thank Top Advisor Marketing for making this available. We can get it out pretty quickly,
Absolutely.
And so I'm appreciative of that. We're living in a new world. We went to bed Friday night after a major upswing in the equity markets, and we woke up Monday morning and the country was self-quarantined or pretty much shut down.
Yeah.
So that's been something that's never happened before. One of the things that investing and equity markets hate the most is the unknown. First of all, obviously the coronavirus, COVID-19, was the major culprit. Everybody knows it started in China and it spread quickly across the planet. I have some statistics here that I think might calm some nerves a little bit.
Okay.
If you're not living in California, New York, or Washington State. My particular state, North Carolina, we have 38 cases so far. This was as of the 16th. 0 deaths.
Good.
I looked yours up. You're from Nebraska. You have 18 cases, 0 deaths. My friend, Fred Chalker, who's going to be on my podcast talking about his ministry, he called me this morning and he says, Doug, do you think this is overblown? I said, definitely. I definitely do. But it is what it is. He lives in Florida. He has 155 cases, 6 deaths. His whole state's shut down. Meetings of more than 10 people are frowned upon. We don't know the extent of this virus yet, but we have a ton of good old free market capitalist companies working on it. I heard a story this morning about a particular valve that they'd run out of them or something like that. And one of the guys listening got to the hospital with a 3D printer, and 3 hours later, he's printing out these valves that are necessary to keep the contagion down. I think this was in Italy. That's what I mean by ingenuity. So we have a tremendous amount of resources going to be poured into solving this issue, and we will solve it.
Yes.
The second thing I think that's a real unknown is the economic impact of this outbreak, which is equally unknown. And most of all, the price war in oil brought it on. It's kind of like a confluence of forces or events that caused this thing to spread like it has. Also, not spread like that has through the country, but also spread like it has through the equity markets and business as well. So I'm concerned that we understand that this is something different, and yet it isn't. In other words, they've labeled it a pandemic, but we've been through these before. And I want my listeners, my clients, to know, and they know. My clients are longtime investors with me, and they know that they've been up and down. But the longer they stay, the higher their accounts go. And so we started with the HIV/AIDS, 1981. I remember that. Remember it very clearly.
Yeah.
Hospital insurance was going to go skyrocket. You wouldn't be able to afford health insurance anymore because the mortality or the morbidity tables were skewed against you. You had the bubonic plague. You've had SARS, the avian flu, the bird flu. We've had the H1N1 swine flu, cholera, MERS, measles even broke out, Zika. Remember that? Zika?
Oh, yeah.
Mosquito, the Ebola. We had the Ebola scare. And then we had the measles scare again a couple of years ago. So as I count them, I'm looking at a chart, and I'm looking at all these plagues or however you want to label them, and I'm looking at the chart of the S&P 500, and through the years from 1982 to current, the market's a pretty good mountain chart. It goes up. I've got the actual numbers of the 6 months after the pandemic hit. I'll give you just a couple of them. HIV/AIDS. I think most of my listeners are going to remember that. That was really scary. The S&P went down 6%, a little over 6%, and for the month it was down 16%, or for the 12 months later. I'll pick another one, cholera. We thought we were all going to die of cholera, or the H1N1 swine flu. S&P 500 went up 18% 6 months following that.
Yeah.
And finally, for the 12 months, it was up 36%. So I don't want to get bogged down in the details. I just want you to know that it's new, but it isn't new. This too shall pass. I am a firm believer in the free markets. I thought President Trump's news conference last Friday, that would be the 13th, was phenomenal. The combination of all those companies coming to bat and making stuff available and pouring resources into it, I have no doubt, Eric, that this is going to be a part of history. Mm-hmm. And we will learn from it, and we will grow from it, and we will be better from it. We will have more things, more inventions, more changes in procedures that's going to be very helpful to the American public.
I agree.
That's kind of what I wanted to say. I also wanted to say, please, if you want any information, if you want to talk to me, my telephone number is 828-668-0665, and my email, doug@theliberatedinvestor.com. I don't have anything important about the coronavirus on my webpage, but there's a lot of good stuff there if you want to check it out.
Yeah.
theliberatedinvestor.com. So this is just a special announcement to my clients and anyone else that might be listening, thanking you for staying with me and fighting through this. And like I said, this too shall pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug, thank you so much for your time today. I know that you have been at the helm for a very long time. You've helped navigate through things like this before. And, oh, Captain, my Captain, I appreciate you standing guard and being there, doing exactly what you do, doing exactly what you have told your clients that you do, standing by them, standing by the work that you do and saying, you know what, this too shall pass. We're going to get through it. And don't worry. Don't lose faith. Don't panic. Don't just bail out. When you jump off the ship, man, there's only one thing that can happen, and it's not going to be pleasant. You're going to get wet. So, Doug, thanks so much for doing this on short notice.
Oh, thank you, Eric. And I just have a couple of comments to end it with. Like I said, this too shall pass. I want you to call me should you have any questions or anything you want to deal with. Email me. Keeping in mind, it is what it is. We have to work through it. Mm-hmm. Follow the instructions, good hygiene. Don't cough on people. Wash your hands often. And just pay attention. And by the way, if you got to spend more time with your family, appreciate them too. Oh, they go quickly. The people grow up quickly, and the kids are gone before you know it. So just appreciate the fact that they're there, they're safe, and you're following this proper common sense. And lastly, I look forward to talking with you or meeting with you soon.